Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. When we talk about the beating heart of a modern warship, the system that turns a floating hull into a moving arsenal, we are talking about the Vertical Launching System, or VLS. You know the image, those square hatches popping open on the deck, smoke billowing out, followed by a missile screaming into the sky. That is the true symbol of 21st century naval power. It is the difference between a glorified Coast Guard cutter and a blue water destroyer capable of projecting power thousands of miles from home. Now, usually when we talk VLS, the conversation starts and ends with the Mark 41 from the United States. It is the gold standard, the big brother, the system everyone knows. It's on Ticonderoga cruisers, Arleigh Burke destroyers, and allied ships from Tokyo to Canberra. It is the Coke of the missile world. But believe it or not, across the Atlantic there is a challenger, a system developed with a completely different philosophy, aggressive, precise, and frankly a little scary. It is called the Sylver VLS from the French Naval Group. Today, I'm going to take you on a deep dive. We're going to figure out why major European naval powers like France, Italy, and even the UK have staked their survival on this system. What makes them confident enough to say no thanks to American hardware? We're going to look at the engineering, the doctrine, and the cold, hard cash. And if you were looking to buy this for your own Navy, just how much would it hurt your wallet? Buckle up, let's get into it. Before we pop the hood, we need to understand the context. Sylver stands for Système de Lancement Vertical, which is just fancy French for vertical launching system. But its origin story isn't about trying to look cool. It is about one thing: strategic autonomy. Back in the 90s, Europe started realizing that relying entirely on US weapon systems was a double-edged sword. Sure, American gear is great, but it comes with strings attached, specifically ITAR regulations and political leverage. If the geopolitical winds shifted, or if Washington decided to lock down the specs, Europe would be left vulnerable. They realized that if they wanted to control their own destiny, they needed to control their own kill chain. So, France and Italy teamed up in a massive joint venture called PAMS. They didn't just want to build a copy of the Mark 41. They wanted to build a system specifically designed to unleash the Aster missile family. And the Aster is the real MVP here. It is an interceptor designed to stop the most dangerous threats out there, specifically supersonic anti-ship missiles like the Russian Onyx or BrahMos that can skim the waves at Mach 3. The Americans solved this with mass. The Europeans decided to solve it with extreme precision. What sets Sylver apart is its philosophy. Simplicity meets power. The design focuses heavily on exhaust management. Let's get technical for a second. Both Sylver and Mark 41 are hot launch systems. That means the missile ignites its rocket motor inside the canister while it is still sitting in your ship. Think about that. You are setting off a controlled explosion inside your ship. The pressure and heat are insane. If you don't manage that, you don't just fail to launch, you melt the deck or blow up the magazine. Sylver's uptake design handles massive thrust with a centralized flue system that's incredibly efficient. It allows for a ridiculous rate of fire, up to 8 missiles in under 10 seconds. That is not a typo. If an enemy launches a saturation attack, sending 20 missiles at you simultaneously, Sylver can empty its magazine and counterfire before you even finish blinking. It is built for high-intensity warfare, where reaction time is measured in milliseconds. Now let's talk hardware. Sylver isn't a one-size-fits-all system. It's modular, like buying a suit off the rack but tailored for the mission. Imagine we're building a Lego warship here. First, you've got the baby of the family, the Sylver A-35. This is designed for smaller ships or self-defense roles. It holds the VL Mica or quad-packed Crotel missiles. It's compact, easy to install, and doesn't eat up deck space. This is perfect for corvettes or offshore patrol vessels that operate in the littorals, shallow waters where threats can pop up out of nowhere. It gives a small ship a very sharp set of teeth without weighing it down. Step it up a notch and you get the Sylver A-43. This is the standard for modern frigates like the French Lafayette upgrades or the Italian Frems. It's deeper, designed to house the Aster 15 for short to medium range defense, out to about 30 kilometers. The Sylver A43 is the balanced choice. Not too big, but powerful enough to swat down incoming fighters or cruise missiles. It's your reliable offensive linebacker. But if your mission is fleet area defense, protecting the aircraft carriers or the high-value cargo ships, you need the big guns. That is where the Sylver A50 comes in. The 50 stands for the depth, allowing it to house the Aster 30. This is the sniper. It has a range of over 100 kilometers and uses hit-to-kill technology combined with active radar guidance. It doesn't just explode near the target, it physically slams into it. The A50 is the centerpiece of top-tier destroyers like the British Type 45 or the Franco-Italian Horizon class. Finally, we have the heavyweight champion, the Sylver A70. This isn't just about defense anymore, this is a strike weapon. Its 7-meter depth is built for deep strike cruise missiles like the MDCN, or Naval Cruise Missile. Picture a frigate sitting quietly offshore, capable of striking strategic targets, bunkers, command centers, bridges, 1,000 kilometers inland with pinpoint precision. The A70 turns a standard warship into a strategic political asset instantly. It gives European navies the same Tomahawk diplomacy capability that the US Navy has enjoyed for decades. So, with specs like that, who is actually buying this? The client list is strictly top tier. Obviously, France is all in, from their nuclear-powered aircraft carrier, the Charles de Gaulle, to their cutting-edge FREM frigates. They use a mix of A43, A50, and A70 modules. It is the backbone of the French Navy. Italy is right there with them, installing Sylver on their carrier, the Cavour, and their futuristic PPA patrol ships. But the biggest seal of approval comes from the United Kingdom. This is a huge deal. The UK and US have a special relationship. The Royal Navy usually buys American, Harpoons, Tomahawks, Tridents, but for their Type 45 destroyers, the ships designed to protect the Queen Elizabeth aircraft carriers, they chose the Sea Viper system, which is built around the Sylver A50. They looked at the US options, looked at the threats, and decided that for pure air defense, the Sylver and Aster combo was superior. That speaks volumes. And globally, we see Singapore, a smart spender with a high-tech navy, equipping their formidable class frigates with the A50. Plus, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and Egypt are all on the list. This isn't a prototype, it is a proven platform operating in some of the most volatile waters on Earth. It sounds perfect, right? But let's take off the rose-tinted glasses. If we compare Sylver to the American Mark 41 VLS, there are some distinct differences that you need to know. The Mark 41 still wins on flexibility. It is the universal socket of the naval world. You can load it with ESSM, SM2, SM3, SM6, ASROC, Tomahawks, LRASM, you name it. If the US Navy invents a new missile, it fits in the Mark 41. Sylver is a bit of a picky eater. It is designed primarily for European missiles like the Aster. You don't get as much mix-and-match capability. Then there's the quad pack issue. This is crucial doctrine. In one Mark 41 cell, you can pack 4 ESSM missiles, so a 32-cell ship can theoretically carry over 100 missiles. With Sylver, it is mostly 1 missile per cell, especially with the Aster. Some military strategists worry about magazine depth. They argue, I don't care how good your missile is, if they fire 50 drones at you, you need 50 interceptors. The Mark 41 fanboys argue that quantity has a quality all its own. The Sylver camp argues, 1 shot, 1 kill. They believe their hit probability is so high, thanks to the Aster's insane maneuverability called peef-poff, that you don't need to double-tap targets. It's a gamble, mass versus precision. But here's where Sylver punches back, safety. Its design handles gas venting exceptionally well. In the event of a hang fire, where the rocket motor ignites but the missile doesn't leave the tube, the Sylver's venting system is designed to contain that catastrophic energy better than older designs. It's a philosophy of crew survival and ship safety. Now for the highlight, the price war. I've dug up the latest estimated procurement costs to see how the European contender stacks up against the American giant. If you're an admiral on a budget, which one do you pick? Look at that table closely because there is a financial trap hidden there. At a glance, the American Mark 41 launcher is nearly double the price of the Sylver. That is because the Mark 41 has more complex electronics built into the launcher itself. It is smarter hardware. But wait, the American missiles, ESSM and SM-2, are slightly cheaper per unit because of the massive economy of scale. The US Navy buys thousands of them, driving the price down. But here's the kicker: the cost of a full load. Packing 4 ESSMs into one cell isn't about accuracy, it is about magazine depth. It allows a ship to weather a massive swarm attack. But financially, it means for one single cell, you are paying for 4 missiles. That's roughly $8 million just to fill one tube. Multiply that by 32 cells, and you're talking $250 million just for ammo. You are paying for the peace of mind of having a deep magazine. In contrast, Sylver A50 with an Aster 30 is a one-tube, one-missile deal. You pay about $3 to $4 million per tube and you're done, because the Aster 30 is a long-range sniper. The philosophy is to kill the threat 100 kilometers out before it ever gets close enough to swarm you. It's a different weight class and a different doctrine. So here's the bottom line. If you have a limited budget but need a launcher on your deck now, or if you need a long-range sniper with surgical precision to guard a high-value asset, Sylver is a compelling choice. It gets you into the high-end naval game without the massive upfront launcher costs, and it gives you a missile that scares the hell out of pilots. But if budget is no object and you want a floating arsenal capable of stuffing hundreds of missiles into a hull to fight a massive saturation war against a peer adversary like China or Russia, the Mark 41 is your answer. Just be prepared to sign a check for hundreds of millions of dollars to fill those tubes. In conclusion, the Sylver VLS is more than just a steel tube. It's a symbol of European technological independence. It proves they aren't lagging behind the US in naval tech. It is the perfect option for navies that want high-end performance without being tethered to a single supplier. What do you guys think? If you were an admiral with a fixed budget, would you choose the surgical sniper approach of the Sylver or the deep magazine capacity of the Mark 41? Let me know in the comments below. That's it for today. Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe for more deep dives like this. I'm Mick, and I'll see you in the next one.